This is the No More Wasted Days podcast, and we're your hosts, Sarah Kaufman Bradstreet
and Heather PG. Grab your favorite NA drink and listen as we share vulnerable stories so you never feel alone on your alcohol-free journey.
And gain insights from us as we break down our most used tips and strategies that have kept us alcohol-free.
It's time to break free from wasting any more of your days to the drinking, blackout, hangover cycle.
Welcome to another episode of the No More Wasted Days podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sarah.
I'm Heather.
Heather, I almost said I'm one of your hosts, Heather.
I'll take it.
Got all in my head.
People might get us confused. It's
right?
all good.
They might. So anyway, we can actually dive into this. Heather's got an awesome topic for us today, and I think you guys are going to really like it. What is it, Heather?
It's rituals of self-connection. And you may be thinking, how does this help? Or how is this related to alcohol? Well, we're going to tell you all about it, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking that. I'm like, oh, this is going to be so beneficial to everybody's alcohol-free journey. I'm like,
yeah.
just by the title, I'm like, yes, this is going to be so helpful. So any cool life updates for us?
I am doing great. I am moving this weekend, and yeah, keeping it moving is my mantra, literally.
Literally and figuratively for Heather.
Yeah. What about you, Sarah?
I was going to say not too much happening here, but there is. Did I tell everybody that we got our temporary certificate of occupancy?
I know, but I don't know if our listeners do.
Oh yeah, listeners. My husband and I are building a house. If you didn't know, if you haven't been listening for a while, we've been building it on our own for the past 3 years. And we did our final inspection like 2 weeks ago, actually, maybe a week ago. Time is flying right now. But anyway, that does not matter. What matters is they gave us our temporary certificate of occupancy, which means we can start moving our family into the house and be in here while we're finishing up all the other little stuff. So actually we're racing to get the stuff done that we need the scaffolding for, which is a big system of ladders basically that can roll around your house. Mm-hmm. So we're finishing that up this week, and the scaffolding will be out of the house forever. I'm so excited. And then we're going to get our flooring put in, and then we're actually going to start moving the kids in. And then my husband and I are going to move into the yurt, and it means our trailer is going to leave our land. And that's just huge. And beyond that, my parents are looking at moving up here. They live 2,000 miles away from me right now. So they're up here visiting and looking at houses. So there is so much happening in my life right now. It's all good stuff.
Yeah. And you are alcohol free for it all.
For all of it. So I am so happy about that because I can be present. And I can realize how amazing it is for my parents to be moving closer. And I just know I'm going to get to spend more time with them as they age. So, or as they live. I listen to Julia Louise-Dreyfus's podcast. Do you listen to that one?
I haven't. I'll check it out.
She interviews older women, like in their 70s and 80s. And one of them, she said, what do you think about the aging process? And she goes, I don't think about it as aging. I think about it as living. And I love that.
I love that too. I'm going to steal that.
All right. I won't babble on. I feel like I have a million things I could tell Heather, and we just hopped on. But I know we've got to do a podcast too. So before we dive into Heather's topic, I want to remind you all that you can join the 30-day alcohol-free challenge. We're doing Dry July starting on July 1st. To all of our podcast listeners, there is a podcast coupon code to save you 10% off of your enrollment fee. Just enter the coupon code podcast, and I will put the link in the show notes. But when you join the 30-day alcohol-free challenge, you are set up with daily videos that are about 5 to 10 minutes long, daily emails, an online community where you can check in below the videos each day, a printable journal, and a printable workbook. And you have the option to join the Daymakers community as well. So it's a ton of stuff. It can get you started on your alcohol-free journey. Or maybe it's just a good reset for you, whatever you want it for. We're here to support you with the 30-day alcohol-free challenge. So check out that link.
Yeah. Come on, y'all. I reference the 30-day challenge as something that saved my life. So you don't have to be like I was in the beginning. You can, like Sarah said, no matter where you are on your journey, come on, y'all.
Yeah. And it is people from all different spots in their journey come into the challenge. Some people come in that already have like 30 days alcohol free and they just want that extra support. And some people come into the challenge and they're like, I just need a reset. Wherever you are, it's just a really welcoming community. So I hope to see you there.
All right, we are going to talk about rituals of self connection. So I want to set the stage by saying when we drink, we are disconnected from ourselves. Whether we're drinking to numb our emotions, celebrate, or enhance an experience, alcohol disrupts our emotional regulation and our nervous system. Last year, I did an experiment, a love an experiment last summer of where am I like the villain in my busyness and stress. You know what I found out? I found out that I was using busyness and productivity to avoid my feelings. And that resulted in me unintentionally disconnecting from myself.
What an interesting thing to figure out about yourself.
Yes, I encourage anyone when they're ready, and I can help you do this in one on one coaching, to really look at yourself first. It's hard. So many of my clients say that they feel like they're in their selfish era. Just know that it's normal. And if you're like me, who, type A, busy, 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 and I think in the beginning of your alcohol free journey, it can be very helpful. Now, 3 years in, I have to connect with self.
Yeah, I like that. And it is so normal to be in your selfish era when you first quit drinking because it's really important. Your sobriety is so important when you're brand new to your journey and you have to protect that. And there is something too, as you start coming out of it, you have to kind of be like, okay, I can't just be 100% selfish if you have family and kids and spouse that maybe you need to make sure I want to say take care of, but I don't take care of my husband, but
Right.
we're a team together. So he's definitely a person that I always consider in my life, right? But it's just kind of like looking at that and figuring out, are you totally connected to yourself? And I relate a lot to the busyness thing. I I use the busyness like I have so many things I need to do, and I will avoid them at all costs by doing dumb things.
Mhm.
Dumb things that need to get done also, but aren't as important.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's time to organize my kids' clothes when it's actually time to like call the doctor and cancel an appointment.
Right.
It's like,
I get it. And I want y'all to hang in because we've got 7 points of about self-connection. I want to set the stage a little bit by saying like alcohol, along with a poor diet, lack of physical activity, inadequate sleep, can overstimulate and dysregulate our nervous systems. So, what can we do about it? I've got 7 tips for y'all.
I'm super excited to hear them because right now in my season of so much happening, I'm
Yes.
looking at it going, oh, poor diet. Yeah, that's something I'm struggling with right now, and telling myself, I'll get back to that later. Like, okay. And physical activity, like even I got sick last week. So I cut out my regular workouts that I usually do so I could sleep in, which I knew I needed sleep. I knew that's how I could heal the fastest. And it did help. But it's hard to get back to it when you take a little while off.
Yeah, it
This
is.
morning was my first day to be like, go do a 20-minute workout. You don't have to do anything crazy. You just have to get that habit going again. So,
Yes.
but it felt good, like to be like, I did it.
Yes. That's how I've been feeling lately with my exercise routine.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's hard when you're moving and it's like your routine is off.
yes. Yes. All right. So, number 1, I want you to pay attention to your needs and meet them. If you ignore what you need or dismiss that nagging feeling in your belly, paying attention to your wants and needs in the moment is essential. Regularly check in with yourself and ask, how am I feeling? Ask yourself, what do I need right now? This will help you discover and uncover what you need and love yourself enough to give it to yourself. It takes time, like most things, it takes introspection, and it can be initially uncomfortable, and it's worth it.
Yeah. It's really hard, those little things that nag at you. And you also have to say, okay, well, is it super important, this thing that keeps nagging at me? Probably, if it keeps showing up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Just take some time to pay attention to what you need, what your body needs, what your mind needs, what your soul needs.
mhm.
It's a good time to get really curious about your needs.
What would you tell people to kind of start recognizing what is the super important thing that keeps nagging at you versus what may be a lower level need?
Yeah. I would say if you're at the beginning of your journey, keep it simple. Feed yourself, comfort yourself. If you're a little further along, you could do like a body scan starting from head to toe. Just take some deep breaths and try to anchor in and ask yourself what it needs. Now, to answer your direct question directly, if you've got something that's constantly nagging, I want you to do a brain dump. And I learned a really cool hack about brain dumps that I'm going to share. You can download the Chat GBT app on your phone. You can do the talk to text and say, please organize my thoughts. That could be helpful to try to delineate what you need first. It may sound asinine, and if you're anything like me and you have a very busy brain, it could help your brain clear and you can see it right there, organized.
That is such a good idea. I love ChatGPT.
Yeah. I
I'm
just
like,
learned that recently and it's really awesome.
I forget that it can do those things for us too. So that is an awesome reminder.
And then number 2, use your breath to draw you in. Like I said just a second ago, your breath can anchor you into your body and draw you into a deeper sense of yourself. Clearly, you can do this anytime, anywhere. Bring your awareness to your breath. Feel it move in your nose, follow it down to your belly, then all the way out. Practice this for a few minutes as often as you can.
I like that. That's super simple too.
Yeah.
And it kind of draws in meditation
Hmm.
and the breath work practices. I didn't have a
Yeah.
lot of time this morning and I did a very short meditation, but it was all breath work stuff. And at first
Yeah.
I was like, ugh, I don't like breath work. But it was
Yeah.
actually so helpful.
Yeah. Check out that episode, last week's episode about meditation. If you haven't heard it, you'll learn a
Yeah,
lot. All right. Number 3, create morning time. Sarah and I talk about this a lot.
all the time.
And it is very important, even if it's 5 minutes, make time each morning. And this is the key part: visualize your day unfolding as you'd love it to. Set key intentions for how you want to feel, take care of yourself, and what you want to achieve. Now, this could fall in the line of productivity, not busyness. There is a difference. So, visualize your day without alcohol. You're going to have a great day. My daughter and I do this every day. You're going to have a great day. Get really detailed.
This is something I just started doing recently. We read the Miracle Morning in the Daymakers community, and it's part of the Miracle Morning is to visualize, and it's a
Yes.
part that I don't do. And I think I thought about visualization as like, oh, visualizing your big goals. But the author even said, just visualize your day. And I was like, oh, that's so helpful. And for me, it helps me organize it and it helps me be grateful for all the parts of my day instead of feeling overwhelmed.
Yes.
I told the day makers one day, I was like, in one day, I got to be a mom, I got to be a wife, I got to be a house builder, I got to be a business owner. And then I went to choir rehearsal in the evening. So I got to do something even for me. I got to take care of myself. And it was a super busy day.
Yeah.
But I was so grateful that, wow, I'm so lucky to have days where I get to do all these amazing things.
Yes. And I love that you're saying, I get to. That's a really key part of your morning time and your gratitude. I get to.
Yeah, and it was definitely because of the visualization practice and saying, instead of going, "Oh, it's gonna be a really busy day." Well, that's not how I wanna visualize myself moving through the day, feeling exhausted, feeling overwhelmed. Instead, I was like, "No, let's compartmentalize all these little parts and see how cool it is that you're gonna fit so much into the day."
Yeah. Speaking of, number 4, consult yourself before committing. So before you make a commitment, I want you to stop, pause, and sit with it. Ask yourself, is this what I really want? Ask yourself, am I saying yes out of obligation or need? Or is it something I really want to do? If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no, y'all. And does this yes feel supportive or draining?
Yeah.
I have been trying to do this because when I was helping run the nonprofit that I was with for years, I got voluntold for things. And just, I want y'all to consider capability or capacity. Yes, we're all capable, but do we have capacity?
Yeah. And there's going to be some things we have to do, right? That we don't
Mm-hmm.
really want to do. That's just part of life, right? But I do think there's something about always feeling like you need to say yes. This is not a problem I have, although I do still get myself into job situations where I'm like, "Ugh, why did I even say yes to this?"
Yeah.
Another thing I've heard, because I love that if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. I use that one.
Yeah.
But I've heard too, if I don't want to do it tomorrow, I'm not going to want to do it in 2 weeks. So, and I love that because I am such a person that will be like, yeah, let's talk about that. Maybe yeah, let's think about doing it in about 2 weeks. Like I will totally tell people that when in my brain I'm like, I don't have time for this. I can't fit this in.
Yeah.
So I've started just being like, sorry, I just don't have time for that in my life. Because I feel like sometimes for me, it's almost things that my friends want to do that I just know aren't a priority for me right now. And it's really hard for me to tell friends, like, sorry, I can't do that really cool weekend getaway. I really, really want to. And instead, I will drag it out for people and be like, yeah, maybe we could do that in like October.
Yeah.
And then October comes and I'm like, yeah, maybe we could do that at the first of the year. And it really is just because I'm like, it's just not a priority for me at this time in my life when it's just a busy time.
Right. So before we go to the next three, I want to invite y'all, check out the link in the show notes for one-on-one coaching with me. I have several plans available and several spots because I have people graduating, which makes me so excited. So check it out and look at the day makers and check out the 30-day challenge for Dry July.
There's so many awesome ways we can support you. So that one-on-one
Absolutely.
coaching will give you exactly what it says. You're going to get one-on-one support where you're really being held accountable. So
Yeah.
if you're really feeling like I need a super extra boost, that's where it's at.
Yeah. Come on, y'all. All right. Number 5. Support yourself with loving thoughts. Do you criticize yourself with your thoughts? I know I do, and I really did as a drinker.
Mm-hmm.
What if we could empower and support ourselves instead? Uplift yourself. Choose to love yourself deeply. You can ask yourself, what could I think right now that would support and empower me? Then practice these thoughts. I was thinking the other day in the pool about almost everything in this world was created by a thought. I say that to say that's how powerful thoughts are. Somebody
Yeah.
created this microphone I'm speaking into, this laptop that I'm looking at Sarah through. So our thoughts are really powerful. So I want you to support yourself with loving thoughts.
Oh my gosh. I love that because it is like everything we're looking at all started as a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And there is so much truth in how you talk to yourself. Now, whether it's a real truth, whether it's how other people perceive you, that's up for debate. But when we're looking at ourselves and thinking, I'm this, I'm that, like, oh, I look frumpy, I don't look good today. Well, that's what you're going to believe the whole day. So instead, be like, I am beautiful and everyone knows it. That's one of Heather's. And I'm just like,
Yes.
yes. When you start having negative thoughts about yourself, have something else to come back to it with. And that's why
Yes.
one of my things was I do not drink in the beginning. Like it was so, nope, not me. I don't do that. I just don't do that anymore. And I'm alcohol free and I love it. That can be a really positive way to say it, right?
Yes.
Because at the end of my drinking, I was very much the constant thought in my head was, I'm just a drinker. And I would
Yeah.
say it like that too, just a drinker. This is just who I am. And this is who I'll always be. And it was like, instead of thinking, how can I change this? How can I redirect myself? How can I course correct? I
Yeah.
was like, This is as good as it gets. And I'm so glad I finally was like, let's change this thought. And
Yeah,
it really did start with changing thoughts. The thought thing is beyond powerful.
very much so. Number 6, move your body with presence and kindness. I want you to think about your body as a form of self love and move your body and treat your body with kindness. You can ask yourself, and this will feel weird at first, maybe not, but it's worth a try. Ask your body how it wants to move rather than forcing it. You can dance, stretch, run, do yoga, walk, jump up and down, do jumping jacks. Try to let your movement feel freeing, fun, and nourishing. Try to be deeply present and tuned into your body and feel the sensations as you're moving. Pay attention. This will help you connect with yourself tremendously.
Yeah. Because the body is like the vessel carrying all those thoughts, right?
Yes. Oh, I love that.
So you gotta treat it correctly. I often tell myself, because I work with my daily workouts, I have a workout schedule, a workout calendar, if you will, just so I make sure I really am working out all the body parts that I want to work out.
Mhm.
But there are days where I don't want to do it. I'll look at that and I'll go, oh, I don't want to do that. And sometimes I know, hey, you just need to move. Like I can kind of tell when I can go, well, you just need to do it. And
Yeah.
once you start it, you're going to enjoy it. But some days I'll go, nope. And I'll just say, what if you do something else today? What if you do like I love, some of you will know these types of workout. It's called turbo fire or turbo kick. They used to be in gyms and stuff, but it's kind of like me and my sister call it dance fighting because it's basically boxing moves, but set to really fun music. So it's
Oh,
kind of like
okay.
you're dancing, but you're punching and kicking.
That's awesome.
It is so silly. It is so fun. I absolutely love it. So a lot of times
Yeah.
I'll be like, well, what if you just go do a turbo fire workout? And I'll be like, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds great. And I'll just go do that. Or this morning I was even kind of like, you can go on a walk. You don't have to reinvent the wheel today if you want to get back into your workouts and just go on a walk. I shouldn't say it that way. I was like, you can be outside. It's nice enough. It's daylight. So,
Yeah.
you know, really
I,
ask yourself, how do you want to do it?
I love, and you just gave me an idea for myself to put it on my calendar and do water one day, walking the next day,
Hmm.
so I see it. So
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
That's one of the reasons I love the calendar.
I'm also going to get a virtual reality headset, an Oculus.
Oh, fun.
A friend of mine has one, and you can dance and you can do so much with it.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
can do exercise and move your body in a kind and present way, even though you have
Yeah.
that big thing on your head. If you have one, like if it feels right, do it.
My son has one. And
Oh,
there's
cool.
there's one thing called, he saved up all of his money so he could buy one. But
That's
it's
awesome.
like there's one called Beat Saber, not
Yes.
Saver, but it's
Yeah.
like you're stabbing the beats.
Right. That's the one I used.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. And I know I must look ridiculous because the kids are laughing while I'm doing it. But even my son is like, oh, I found some workout ones because he's in seventh grade, end of seventh grade year, just starting to kind of figure out, like, I think I want to start working out. So he's trying to figure it out. And I was like, dude, check out your Oculus. It's got stuff. And he's like, oh, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like you can have trainers right there. So
Yeah.
there's so many different things. And like if I'm mentioning turbo kick, turbo fire, and you're like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. Well, guess what? It's on YouTube. You can go look it up and you can find turbo kick trainers. And so they're out there.
Yeah. Definitely. There's so many things out there, y'all.
Yeah.
So, number 7, this is the last one, but stay tuned. Make time for your little lovies. What does that mean? Anything that makes you smile and fills you with joy that is not alcohol.
Hmm.
Pay attention to what lights you up. Is it watching the sunrise, putting your toes in the ocean, have a hot bath, curling up with a book? Write a list of the small things, the small practices and activities that you love, and make time each day for it. This was inspired by Catherine Gray's book, The Unexpected Joys of Being Sober. She talks about at the beginning of her journey, she had a My Little Pony that she kept in her purse. So if you have a lovey, like a My Little Pony or anything that brings you joy, a crystal, anything, put that in there to connect with yourself.
I love the idea of having a physical thing to remind you of the thing you love to do.
I do too. I think it's really powerful. So I want y'all to remember that busyness is the enemy to self connection. Pay attention to your needs and meet them. Use your breath. Create morning time. Consult before committing. Support yourself with loving thoughts. Move your body with presence and kindness. And make time for your little levies.
And I feel like number 7 is huge. That last one.
Yeah.
I was going to add that one thing I always tell people is alcohol took away music for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to college to be a music teacher. I was a music teacher when I was a drinker. So, I mean, I was still practicing music. I wasn't making any music on my own when I was drinking. And now I do again. And
Yeah.
it just opened up, it like reopened this part of me that's always been there. And that's one of my little loves where I'm just like, I mean, it's a big love for me. And that's one of the reasons I found a choir. I was like, I have to start singing again. So reconnect with those things that you love. But I also love that you mentioned little things like a hot bath or curling up with a book. Do those things because, oh my gosh, we forget to do the things that we really love. And when you add them back in, the difference you feel in your life is so good.
Absolutely. So check out the link in the show notes about the 30-day challenge for Dry July, working with me one-on-one. If this episode resonates with y'all, send it to a friend. Give us a rating and review. Shout out to whomever wished us a happy 6 months on Apple. I saw that this morning. It made my day.
Oh, that's so nice.
So thank you. And you'll hear us next week.
Yep. Every Tuesday, we're in your ear.
That's right. Bye, y'all.